precious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come here today as commissioners, and God, we just thank you for Nicholas County, for its people, and for everything that makes this county what it is. God, it's just a wonderful place. It's the heart of West Virginia, and the three of us, I know, feel honored to represent everyone that lives here. And God, just help us make the best decisions to represent all of them throughout our meeting here this morning. In your holy and precious name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting of the Nicholas County Commission to order. Today's April 6, 2022. One of you gentlemen want to start it off?
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received by the elected officials and department heads, the Commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by the various departmental offices, the Commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. Okay. Next up we have Joe.
I'm up first.
Yeah, you're up first.
All right. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here representing the Nicholas County Farmland Protection Board. Okay, if I stay in there?
Yes, it is.
This should be short. I brought a resolution for your all's approval for the board to spend $110,000 for the purchase of the easement on Dana and Penny Roberts' property. This is property that lays out close to Hardfax Ferry. So,
Okay. All right. I'll need a motion to approve this.
I'll make the, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, let me just look through everything. Let's go. Okay, we need a motion to approve
I'll
this.
move to approve the resolution with the easement program for Dana Roberts as
Okay.
presented.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? The motion does carry. Now, you wanted to mention something else?
I did. The Farmland Protection Board has scheduled a public information meeting May the 5th, which is the first Thursday in May, 6 o'clock. We are meeting in the Teen Center of the City Building. This is a meeting for anybody that is interested in how the farm board works. If they have property they want to enter into the program, we will have a lot of information available. Anybody that just wants some information is welcome. Again, at 6 o'clock on May 5th in the Teen Center.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, Rick. Take a look.
Recording stop.
Okay, we'll go ahead and come back in session. John?
Recording in progress.
You're up.
Yes, I brought in some more pricing
Uh-huh.
for the new equipment at the new 911 center.
Okay.
I have quotes on those too as well, with the exception of the new appliances and some miscellaneous equipment. That's a rough estimate of what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
So that will give you all an idea of where we're at. Which the CAD and the phone call taking system's already been bidded out and approved in a previous meeting. The new fence, I've applied for a Homeland Security grant through the state for that as well.
We've already done the CAD and the
phone
phone
system.
call.
Yes, sir. And then the fence was, I applied for a Homeland Security grant on that last week.
Okay.
Now the radio tower,
Yes, sir.
is that covered by the grant?
Some of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So the big one's the new radios and equipment. So we need to-
The price on the sign for the front of the building, that was from Signark in Beckley, and that's the removal of what's up there now and installing the new one as well.
Hopefully we'll get some help from Congress on these radios and equipment, because they said they would help us with that.
That's true, when you call Carol.
Okay. I'll talk to Tom too.
Okay.
Okay.
If you'll, I'll talk to Darian with Carol for the.
Okay.
But that's where we're at so far.
All right.
And do you have individual breakdowns of these?
Yes, sir.
Did you put out for bids on the radios?
Not yet, I just
Okay.
got that, I just got
That's just
that
an
quote.
idea.
Yeah, I just got that in last
Yeah.
week, so yes.
Okay.
And what does that include?
All the new radios where ours is outdated.
I mean, all new is in the center or all new?
Yes, just in the center. Yeah,
Okay.
and where we're at now with those is our system is so old, they don't service them anymore, and it's hard to get parts and everything, so that's all the new technology. That's,
Yeah.
and to give you an idea, I priced portable radios the other day for spares because ours is outdated. 5 of them was at $18,000. So that's, everything's through the roof right now. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, I'd like to see that breakdown. That just seems
yes.
extremely high.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Andy.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. Morning. Good to have you this morning. So we have Anita Gross and Lou Gilbert before us today.
Good morning, Commissioner Atkins, Commissioner Cole, and Commissioner Chapman. As the president of the Rotary Club here in Somersville, I wanted to come before the Nicholas County Commissioners and speak to you about some financial support that we would like to receive as we come out of the stranglehold of COVID in our community, in our county, our state, and nation. We're here today to ask for the county's support in providing our organization grant funding to continue our yearly county and community projects that we give back to our Nicholas County citizens. When COVID hit 2 years ago, our community service club was essentially shuttered and unable to continue our charitable projects in county or community services. Thus, our ability to replenish our funding for these projects dwindled to dismal numbers. This essentially necessitated our club to either not do a project or pull from emergency reserve operational funds, even if possible. Our Somersville Rotary Club was founded here in Somersville 16 years ago and has historically been active in Nicholas County with several projects and functions such as the Fall Potato Festival, where we actually encourage county farmers to participate in showing their potato grower produce in a state fair-like atmosphere and subsequent monetary support back to them. Furthermore, we remain active in the community public school systems by supplying hard copy dictionaries to all the 3rd graders. That essentially costs over $1,000. More importantly, we've now supported for the last few years a county-wide winter coat project to supply all needy children in our county grade schools a winter coat. This has exploded and essentially is now costs up around $6,500 a year. We recently partnered this past fall, as you may know, with the city of Somersville and the Somersville Fire Department to fund and replace the $22,000 Somersville Lake Rescue Raft, and we donated $10,000 for that project. We yearly donate hams to the food pantry at Thanksgiving. We participate and donate services to the shelter workshop, Adopt a Highway, local nursing homes, and assisted living senior citizens, senior holiday events with our community children, as well as the Regional Salvation Army at Christmas time. While the Rotary Club is part of the Rotary International, at least 95% of our local focus is reinvested back into our community and county. In other words, what we give out in benefits and services far outweighs what we take in. Thus, our motto, service above self. In closing, and in summary, we are here before you to take, and today to recharge and jumpstart our Somersville Rotary back to its normal service participation and fiscal levels. Simply stated, we fell short in funding our winter coat drive project by approximately $4,000, yet can pay the amounts and cover the costs so the kids could get the winter coats. Therefore, we're coming before the commission today to ask for that $4,000 shortfall in a grant form from the Nicholas County Commission to help us regain our momentum and continue other projects of this kind in our county and community. We also are very interested in some of the upcoming projects we hear about at the park. So we would like to thank you for our consideration. Anita's here to talk about the numbers and statistics on the coats.
Yeah, so when we started this in 2020, we had a request for 217 codes, and this is for all the county. And then in 2021, we had a request for 279. So we're anticipating a greater need this year with all the economic issues that we have right now. So we would appreciate your help with that.
I think this is a very good project with our kids to keep them warm in the wintertime. And I see a lot of stuff that comes through my office
Oh, yeah.
with these
Absolutely.
kids. And I know you do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Any questions, we'll certainly answer.
This is all elementary schools in the county?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. And then we do the third grade project too, the dictionary.
Dictionary.
Which
Yeah.
was, we actually had a discussion on that this morning about how some of these kids come up and actually hug the folks bringing in the book, say, it's my first book.
We go to the administrators of the schools, and they give us a list of the number and sizes that they need for each of the elementary
Okay.
schools. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a to find, well, even finding the coats this past year was interesting because there just was not
Supply chain.
So
We
it
go
was
all
we
over
were everywhere to go.
tobacco.
So many things have been messed up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, thank you for our time to present this, and
Okay.
hopefully be under consideration.
I'd like to just go ahead and make a motion to approve this request as presented. I mean, how do you argue with this? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it,
much.
okay.
Appreciate you.
Hang on.
Oh,
I'm gonna say now.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? This motion does carry.
Now you
Well,
can
thank
get
you very much.
Thank you for what you did.
Thank you, guys.
Easier than I thought.
Here's our new number,
Recording stopped.
as of right now.
Well, I wasn't anticipating.
Okay, next up we have Walter Swagger.
Recording in
Okay.
progress.
Good morning, Walter.
Morning. I'm a Life Scout for Boy Scout Troop 107. I'm working to become an Eagle Scout. Part of the requirements to become an Eagle Scout is doing a community service project. The project I'm looking to do is building a giant Adirondack chair, like those seen on beaches, in Veterans Memorial Park. I think it'll attract a lot of tourists, and it'll show how Nicholas County likes veterans and shows respect for them. I'll put like Nicholas County name on it, stuff like that. With work with the park board.
Okay. And so that's going to be, are you going to be funding this yourself?
And I have fundraisers for it.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay.
I have a picture of it if you'd like an example of it.
Okay. That's good. Okay. thank you. What- Do you know where it's gonna be located? That's the question we just had.
Yeah, I think you'll have to get with maybe Gary, the park board, and see where the
Figure out a place.
best place to put it would be.
If you want
Probably
to come-
someplace visible where, would attract tourism.
Absolutely.
If you want to come April 21st at 7 p.m. Is our next park board meeting, and we can work all that out and get their blessing as well, if that's okay.
All right.
But I think it's great.
Thank you.
I think it's great. Yeah. Thank you for coming in.
Recording stopped.
Okay. Cassie, the floor is yours.
I think we have a couple things on the agenda. Not sure where you want to start. We can probably just knock out the easiest thing first.
Okay.
The Nicholas County Commission was awarded a hazard mitigation grant on behalf of the Birch River Public Service District for a couple generators and other like emergency related equipments for the PSD. And we came to you recently with a scope change request for that project. The application was submitted requesting natural gas generators. However, the PSD found it more reasonable to use propane. So they had to formally request, that to be changed and accepted by FEMA. And that's caused some delay. And so the State Hazard Mitigation Office has recommended that they request a time extension of 18 months. And that will need to formally come from the commission. So that is what we have for you.
Okay.
And I mean, that's it in summary. It's just requesting a time extension for that project of 18 months, which takes it out to December 17th of 2023.
And nothing has started on it at this time.
No.
This is on Nettie Legacy?
Birch
No,
River,
Birch
yes.
Birch River,
River.
okay, that's right.
Birch River generator. Okay.
Okay,
So we need a motion to do that.
but there's no funding,
No
additional
funding
funding needed or
change
anything,
anything
okay.
like that.
Just for the time extension.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the time extension request for 18 months for the generator project for Birch River PSD, ending in December of 2023.
Yep.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion does carry.
All right. Just a little extra information for that project. We probably will see a cost increase. The application, the numbers were put together in like 2018. The application wasn't funded until like 1920 timeframe. So what will happen, we can pretty much anticipate that bids will come in high. Then we will have to wait until another FEMA funded project closes out and they can reappropriate those monies to this project. So just a heads up on what to expect with that.
Okay.
I believe the only other thing we have for you today is in regard to Nettie Legacy PSD. We do have with us the PSD's chairman, Glenn Sterling, as well as the PSD's engineer, Fred Hypes of Dunn Engineers. The PSD is here today to ask for financial assistance for several equipment items and some additional out of the ordinary expenses they have incurred. So I'll just kind of go over it in summary. I have some information for you, and then I'll let Fred and Glenn maybe take the wheel here. They've obtained a quote for a John Deere backhoe, a dump truck, an equipment trailer to actually haul the backhoe, a hammerhead mold boring machine, which is something that allows them to bore under the road more easily, and a gas-powered air compressor. In addition, they had to have a pump rebuilt. It was seemingly a better option to have it rebuilt than purchase a new one, and I'm not the expert on these sorts of things. And then also they had some electric work they had to do for one of their tanks. So I will give you some of that information.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
We talked about it, doing like a lease program.
And the quotes for the equipment are not attached, but the items listed as expenses, those invoices are attached.
Now, your dump truck, let's go one at a time. The backhoe, the John Deere and the Kubota. What's Kubota M62 with an ROPS? What is?
Okay, that's with a, yes, sir, instead of a cab. When we had looked 6 months ago at the price of the 310, they were in the range of $110,000 or $115,000. We did our call arounds yesterday to verify pricing. That pricing now has increased to $180,000. What the Kubota is a wheel hoe, loader hoe, that the PSD could use. And the reason the operators have requested a secondary digging device as well as a loader is because right now they have nothing to load gravel in. And the DOH has been adamant about the restoration. And so Kevin and Matt requested that there be an additional machine that would allow them to do two things. One is to load the gravel and clean the dirt up, and the other is in the event that the Bobcat machine that they have right now, which is 16 years old, goes down, they have the ability to load up a second machine that would allow them to make repairs. And the trailer is needed to get it out to the job site. Right now, they have to shuttle the hoe from place to place, and it turns out making the jobs 3 times as long.
Okay, and then on the dump truck, F750, where did you get that? Did you get that quote here or
We
multiple
actually got that
dealerships?
from the DOH. That is a 2-ton dump truck, single axle like they have now.
Yes.
We've also looked at the 1.5-ton trucks, which typically are available in mass with the DOH contract. You can't beg, borrow, or steal one. We did one for the town of Chapmanville a year and a half ago at $55,000. We were able to find one at $77,000 2 weeks ago, and it was, the dealer said, take it or leave it, we don't care. And so that is an estimated price at the moment, but it is a 2-ton truck as opposed to a 1.5-ton truck.
Now, when you say the DOH bid, what it, I mean, does that make it pretty available, or are you still looking at an 8-month turnaround?
Right now, you're looking at the long lead time, but the
Okay.
DOH bids things in mass. The Department of Administration used to bid all manner of things, including vehicles for all the agencies. The DOH has since been allowed to procure their own vehicles and equipment, but they do have, since it's a statewide bidding contract, they allow, or county commissions, PSDs, cities are allowed to use those without going out for different bids.
So it's like cruisers and stuff like that for our police forces?
Yes, sir.
In a way, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your equipment trailer, how big of a trailer is it?
That is suitable to haul that hoe. It's
Okay.
and it's got a pintle hitch on it, so it goes behind the dump truck.
Right.
You can get cheaper ones, but you run the risk of breaking them down. We've hauled them on our own car haulers, my brother and I, but the trailers show it really quick.
Sure.
257.
The mold that they're asking for is actually it drives a hole under the pavement instead of drilling one. The DOH has been getting, and not inappropriately, but they have been getting more difficult to allow open cuts. They can drive typically up to a 2-inch main under there, and that allows them to make the road crossings without an open cut on the DOH. And we believe that would be money well spent, because right now if they have to rent a auger, they're looking at paying that price for a single crossing. And it also then prevents them from having to do a lot of pavement repair, and some they have done in the last year have exceeded that by twice. And the air compressor actually drives the machine. It literally hammers a hole under the pavement.
Okay. Your last item is the canvas tank.
Yes, sir. The telemetry system that's operated, or that has been down the site, has been operated with a solar system and a battery. Because of the amount of inclement weather we have and have been having, PSD essentially has to shuttle batteries up there. They have also installed an electrically operated valve at the tank so that if they have a leak, like they have had in the last 2 or 3 years, they can, from the plant, sense the tank dropping, hit a switch, and allow that valve to operate and turn the tank off. So they save 75,000 gallons of water. But they can't operate that off the solar cell, and that $6,000 was for the cabling to put a conventional power service up there. And we believe that's money well spent, because instead of having to wait days for the tank to refill, they're able to turn the tank off and then make their repairs and bring water service right back up, where in the past they couldn't do that.
And that's work that's already been done?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And as far as the pump goes, that is the raw water pump. The PSD elected to go ahead and have that repaired. Right now, we're looking at 12 months or more turnaround time for a new pump. And having that extra pump on hand, we thought was an appropriate thing to do, even though it's a big chunk of change, because there simply aren't any to be had regardless of price right now.
To reiterate, that's just a rebuilt pump?
Yes, sir.
Right, but yeah, oh yeah, I can only
But
imagine
you
you
already
can't
have
get one right now. Right,
Yes, it is on site.
right.
So it's paid for.
And that's work that's been completed also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I saw them swap those out. That's across from Panther Creek Road?
Yes, sir.
Right there with the water hole.
Yeah, and because they handle the raw water, they tend to wear faster than the pumps up at the water plant.
Sure.
Just as part appears on 222.
Where Craigsville's taken over that other PSD, they're gonna have some other equipment. Is there any way we could work out something with them to buy some of that stuff? Like they're getting a
There
new
was an
backhoe.
So they're gonna have anything of this
An extra truck
nature?
and an extra backhoe.
And will Craigsville need it for covering that extra area?
I think we should look at that.
I do think though that Craigsville will want to sell it because Camden is currently in debt to Craigsville on the sewer treatment side of things. So I think the PSD's thought was that they could sell the equipment that they didn't need to kind of help make that whole. But
So,
that
I
may,
mean, that's not an issue. I mean, but we're gonna buy a
but it may
backhoe
be a
for
better
half,
price, yeah.
you know, so I
Yeah.
think we should,
We should
look
look
at
What
that.
general condition
we
is
should
that
look at
equipment in though?
I have no idea.
I
We would
wanna-
have
I
to
wanna know the
investigate.
general
I
condition.
understand the truck's brand new.
Yes.
It only had like 700 miles on it. they
How
said.
big of a truck is it?
I don't even know that.
Okay,
They just
yeah.
mentioned.
If
it
we
in
could get the specs on that. That's a good point. I just wanna make sure we're buying something good.
Let's table this. I'll make a motion that we table this and look at all aspects, get some information on that. And then if that don't work, I'd like to see it more broken down. Instead of just throwing me $185,000 out here, I wanna see what that is. And the trailer and things like that, so.
Okay.
Could I make a request before you vote on that to consider a line item approval on this request?
We could do that.
Because basically what I'm looking at, I mean, the truck, trailer, and backhoe, I agree. But with the boring machine, the air compressor, the work on the raw water pump, and the work on canvas tank, I mean, to date, have we committed money to Native Legacy PSD?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. I mean, we've committed hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're looking at $44,170.
As two is a reimbursement because they've already paid for it.
Right, the two reimbursements and the hammerhead machine and the air compressor. And can you mount that on equipment trucks that you already have?
Now, this is actually standalone equipment.
Oh, okay, because the air compressor says truck mountable, is why I asked.
Well, it's to slide in the bed of the truck.
Oh, okay.
As opposed, yes, sir, as
Gotcha. So, yeah,
opposed
you
to a
could
towable
trade it out.
Solaire. Yes, sir.
And is that big enough?
44,000.
Kevin and Matt actually looked at the one that Wilderness has, and they were quite impressed with its capabilities. And as the they're going and doing more and more of the service line repairs. That was the reason that they requested to have one also with that.
This is the size Wilderness has? That's what you're saying? Yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't understand that.
Okay. Yeah, we
I
can-
mean, are you acceptable with
If you
that?
wanna make a motion.
Well, you gotta rescind your motion,
Okay.
Yeah.
or we gotta vote your motion down, either way,
Uh,
however you want.
We'll just rescind it.
Okay, can you make a motion to rescind?
Yeah, I'll pull my motion back until the
Okay.
next.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve the hammerhead mold boring machine for $5,000, the gas-powered air compressor truck mountable for $5,000, and the reimbursements on the precision pump and valve for $27,382, and the reimbursement on the state electric supply company expense of $6,788.41.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Total.
Be a total of $44,170.41.
Okay.
If I did the math right. That's why I listed them all just in case.
All right. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against?
Where are you taking the funds from?
ARP.
ARP is for.
ARP.
Yeah. Okay.
And when do you think you could get us the information on whatever equipment they will be selling?
We could do that before the next meeting.
Okay,
I feel
that's
very
April
confident.
20th.
The one thing I will say though is that consolidation may take some time, so it may be a while before they're actually able to, you know, make the transaction happen, but we can get their general feel for it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And I'm sure they'll keep the best one and sell the other.
Glenn, are
That's
you
the way
okay
it works,
with all
isn't
that?
it?
Well,
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
understand
yes,
the
thank
need
you.
to process this.
Okay.
And if they do have a truck, you would be miles ahead to make that transaction because you won't get one before then.
Well, yeah, even if it takes a while for that transaction.
Yes, sir.
With
And the
PSDs.
same even with
ordering a truck.
the backhoe, because there's very little available on short notice.
Okay.
That we're finding at auction, they just don't.
There was a really super nice one sold at auction past week.
Really.
A nice Caterpillar and a nice
Well, that would be super.
Really?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were shocked, Commissioner, at the price of that, because that's not what we had been seeing. But
Yeah.
that's almost, that's
It's
more
the-
than we would
It's
spend.
the new normal.
Sure.
It is. Okay.
Okay.
Also, as a part of this agenda item, it was just
Okay.
kind of tacked on for logistical
Uh-huh.
purposes and putting the agenda together was board concerns.
Yes.
But we would prefer not to, you know, delve too far into that conversation. But
Would you like a executive session?
sure,
Okay.
I'll make a move that we go into executive session to talk about this board issue at Nettie Levis PSD.
And that's pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
I'd
Well, I'm
like,
good if it is. I didn't know if I need to step out.
I'd like just the two.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
One second.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
I would make a motion pursuant to code 6-9A-3 and 4 that we come out of executive session.
And no decisions were made.
And no decisions were made in the meeting.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion does carry. We're now out of executive session. Okay. Bill, looks like you're up.
Okay. If you would, just follow with me here
Okay.
and with your brochures and everything and make it go a little bit faster and if I can get my point across a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm here to represent the Craigsville Little League Sports Association. And what I'm here is to request for financial assistance with the reunification project is going to be at the Hamrick Memorial Field. And it's known as Isla Creek or the Craigsville Ballpark. And the Craigsville Little League Sports Incorporated is requesting financial assistance or support from the Nicholas County Commission in the amount of $40,656 in the renovation projects at the Hamrick Memorial Field in Craigsville. Now you can see I've got it broke down about the project. We have 3 projects that we're wanting to do. Project 1 is the removal and the installation of new fencing at the backstop area, including the backstop canopy, left and right field bleacher dugout areas, and the left and right foul line and outfield areas. Just wanted to let you know that the present fencing was installed in 1970. And when said field was built by Island Creek Coal Company. The present 52-year-old fencing has been relocated, reused, and painted several times throughout the past 52 years. What we're requesting is put new fencing up, and instead of having 4-foot fencing down the foul lines, we want 6-foot fencing that's a lot safer for people, where they're not leaning over the fence and get hit with a foul ball or whatever. And also, too, they can sit and watch the game a lot better instead of looking over the rail, and it just makes it more safe for that area. On the backstop areas and everything, that they're rusted, and the canopy's rusted, and there's some of the joints that's already broke loose, and throughout the years, different fencing and everything's been placed up there and matched up and tried to be matched, and it just needs to be redone. And the second project is the removal and installation of 2 new aluminum bleachers. And it's for liability reasons. The new bleachers will be in compliance and meets codes. There's a story about these bleachers and everything that I want you to look at. And when you look at the second project, and you'll see I've put pictures in there with the bleachers. You'll see little red dots on that. That's treated lumber. Okay. In 2011, I'll make this story a little bit short, but you all can read up on this. That we was in the process of having a junior and senior state tournament at the Cratesville Little League field in 2011. It was on a Wednesday, and I took off some days. I was the president of the Little League at that time, and I lived just about 200 or 300 yards away from the field. And I was going up there to do some work. Well, come about, there was a man up there. Well, he had took the bleachers and the footboards, aluminum footboards, off of these bleachers. He was cutting them up, and he was taking them to the junkyard for money, drug money. That's what he invented to them. And he took them off. And here we was 3 days before the tournament, and we had to do something. Oh, we got with Standard Hydraulics. They made us up some mounts down there, and the only thing that we could do, and we had time to do, was put the treated lumber on. Well, since 2011, they've been there ever since. And what I'm requesting on this project, and you can turn it over, and you can see these pictures. And you can see the pictures here of the Richwood Lady Jack softball field and the bleachers that the county put in this past year. And there's another picture of these meet compliance. These are compliance bleachers. Nowadays, with the code and everything the way it is, if you have 3 rows or more, you've got to have rails on the side and rails on the back. And as for these bleachers, they would be 5 rows, also 221 foot. They handle about 54 people is what they say. They also have an aisle up the middle where people can get to the seats a lot better. The older people, like me, can get up there and sit down a lot better. And that's what we're requesting there, to just ask for a couple sets of bleachers for the first base and third base side. This would really help. It'd make it safe, safer, and everything. And if you go look in the Little League organization, they talk about these bleachers, and they talk about this, and they talk about being safe. You want to have your place safe, and that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I've coached for 20 years and everything. I've been around this field up here since 1992. We've done a lot of things up there, but you know, sometimes you gotta go back and start all over again. And the third project is dugout benches. And pictures tells you words. I mean, if you look at the pictures, the only thing we got up there right now is the kids are sitting on blocks with boards. You see the other picture, you see those other benches. My brother and I made those. And those are in the Richwood Lady Jacks softball dugout benches. Those, they're not very hard to make. And I talked with the guy up there, and we can get the materials, we'll make it. Make it for the kids. And I put something in there about the property, and you can read that. The history of it. And I wrote that up myself and everything, and it was the late Roby Armstrong and I took it on ourselves to get that property. And we did it successfully and everything, but if we go back to the cost estimates back here on this first part of it, you can see the letter that the Craigsville Little League had provided to them. All we're asking is the $40,656. That could take care of all that, and we could do that, and it would really help, because right now the way things are, you know, kids. I mean, my daughter, 2 daughters are teachers and everything, and they tell me there's not really good stores. And if we could be even just parents for them and people that they can come to, and we can help them have places to go and things to do, and we can make a place for them to be glad to come up there. And also too, it's not just for Little League up there. There's many people. I gave you pros and cons, and I'll tell you, these pros is where it's a much safer environment for the kids. If we get this done, it'll be a much safer environment for the kids, the parents, the grandparents, family, relatives, and visiting teams. Will be more attractive and welcoming to outside people if needed. The field facilities can be used by the middle school, high school, and VOTEC and others for activities. An event like we've had in 2016, you know, the surrounding community ball fields, if they're destroyed by the floods, the Craigsville ball field and facilities could be used as a backup field for other Little League, baseball, softball practice and games and tournaments. And also, if needed, an alternate backup for softball field for middle school and high school practices and games. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It'll happen again. So we got to have a backup for them. And also too, the community uses it for fundraisers and activities. Churches use it for, you know, activities up there, Easter egg hunts, church picnics. For the pros, the cons, there's no cons associated with this Hammer Field proposed renovations. It's a win-win situation for the kids, the Craigsville community, the surrounding cities, as Richwood and Somersville, and finally Nicholas County. And I hope that you all see that you could provide this for the Craigsville Little League sports, to where we can make this a better place up there for the kids and for the community. We've, like I said, I've been up there since 1992, and it's, you know, it's a landmark. It's a landmark there at Craigsville. I mean, it's been there for a long time, and it has been there for facilities, and we just need to do some facelift on it. And if you could provide that that amount of money for us, we'd really appreciate it. We could, and you can see that the Craigsville Little League will put up 27%.
Their membership will grow. You know, we've got some of this money coming from opioids. In a field, you know, this guy was cutting that stuff up about drugs. Well, down the road, there would be a possibility for spending some of that money in this direction. Because that's what
Now,
we're
are you projecting to have this work done if this would be approved by this season, or would the work be done this fall? Fence included?
Yes.
The company here believes they can do that.
It's just a matter of time. We got to get, we got to get things started. If we know we can, we're going to try to get it done. I know it's a short time, but we can work through it. I mean, it's just, we're going to do the best we can. And as for the bleachers, I do have to say one thing about the bleachers that I didn't mention. I talked to Mark Odell, who's the instructor at the Botec. And I asked Mark, I said, Mark, if we do get bleachers, can you use that as a project to put these bleachers together for us? He said, yes. So as soon as if you provide us with this money and we can get that done, I can get the bleachers within, I'll call and get it, and he said they could get started with it. And we could have the bleachers sent to the Botec. They have a forklift where they can take that material off and take it back into their area and take care of it. And they said they could do it. We've got plenty of people that could help with this.
How wide are they though? Are you gonna be able to get them in the park after they're
Oh,
put together?
absolutely. They'll be able to, the bleachers can be put on the rollback if they wanted to, and put it on the rollback or thing, and take them right up there and load them off. We already got concrete pads to load them right onto. It wouldn't be hard to do.
And I'm looking at your estimates, and I'm just gonna ask this because I ask everybody. There's nobody local that could do this type stuff.
This guy right here has helped me over the years with the high school people. Danny Neal has went beyond, and I could show you prices from 2017 that are very similar to what even with the pandemic, and we're saving money by going back. I'm not that way. I'm not, this guy right here, he told me that when you're ready, I'm ready. That's how he is, because Danny Neal grew up in Craigsville. And he knows, and we've talked, and when I was working on that field at Richwood for the Lady Jacks softball team, anytime I would call, he'd do whatever he could to help.
They're
And-
Bridgeport.
Huh?
They're Bridgeport.
And
Now, at the Veterans Memorial Park where we've done this with Somersville Little League, we have park staff there that's gonna, I'm on the park president, park board. Our staff is there every day, of course, making sure facilities, whatever. And you talk about the event before that ruined your bleachers, and I understand, you can, but do you all have a plan going forward that if we invest in these facilities, we can have some reassurance that, you're gonna double down, kinda like people being there throughout the day, checking in on it and stuff like that, just to make sure it's taken care
I'll
of?
be there every day.
Okay.
I'll be there because when you read that property information and everything,
Yes.
I'm the resident agent of that property.
Right.
As long as I leave.
Right.
All right. Also too, Larry Johnson is also too as a backup. He knows the property like the back of his hand too. And then if something happens to him, my youngest daughter, Latricia, because she was raised right there, she played ball there, she knows about it. So we got backup. And the people that we've talked to, and I went to 2 different meetings of their board meetings, and I told them, I said, if this goes through, we've got to get going. And I've talked to some of the older fellas up there that would say that they would help. Retired, where we have time to do it. We could get up there early in the morning and do things and everything and help. And we'll be there to help even with the fence people there. We told them we'll be there to help to do whatever we had to do to get the equipment, help them haul, you know, their cement or whatever they need to do. We'll be there just so it would get done a lot quicker. And
So how much of this do you project you can have done by opening day? At least the bleachers.
absolutely, in the benches and stuff. But it just depends on if there's opening days. I mean, not opening days, but open days. We can do little things at a time to get it done.
But I mean, like the major fence.
Like the fence,
The major fence, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I'm sorry, I don't have that in it, but we're gonna try to do what we can. With things, if we had good weather, we could have done it in a week. But I don't know how it's gonna be.
And his price is gonna include like some of the major equipment, like he's gonna need apparently sky lifts probably to get.
We already,
those
there's people already said we can get a man lift and everything, get that done.
Now, he's on kind of notice that if this is approved, he's moving in like
He said, he said
immediately.
as soon as he gets his equipment and all his stuff, he can come in.
Okay.
He can, that's what he told
So
me.
you're not just gonna be added on the end of the schedule or something?
Well, I'm just going by what he told me, and that's all I got. But, you know, we're gonna work hard to get it done. I mean, it took me 8 years to get that other field done at Richwood. And that field was dedicated to the 2005 state champions, is what that was for. Because they never, over all the years, they never had their own field to play on. It was always the city park or whatever like that. And I took it to myself to have them someplace they could call around down there beside the baseball field. And I was there a lot of days.
Yes, you were.
Just do ARP like in Somersville.
Okay. Like I said,
What I'm thinking is that we consider a reimbursement schedule like we're doing with the we've done with the Somersville Little League and the park projects. One of us be involved in the renovations just so we know what's going on too. Nothing against your organization or anything, it's just, I mean, you know.
I'll work up I'll keep them.
We put me on the Somersville Park Board, Veterans Board, before we start putting money, you know what I'm saying? So we just want to be involved.
I mean,
I mean, they have a 27% match
well, that's good.
and take it out of ARP.
I'm okay.
Well, maybe what'd be the best thing to do is one of us become a member of their board.
Yeah.
Would that be?
Listen,
I'm not on their board, but I'm here for the talk for them. And I'd say matter of fact, they got a place for you.
I don't know if anybody won.
yeah.
But they told me they
But
got
the
a
thing
place
is,
open.
this is a commission that's gonna be involved.
Uh-huh.
We're not just
That's
gonna
true.
write you a check.
Hey,
And-
I'll do reports. I'll give you, send you a report or whatever you have to do for what we're doing and what we get done. I can do that. I mean, that's just until we're done with it.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, I can.
Well, and I'd like to pay direct to contractors, like we do with the park.
You can probably bring us invoices in and we can write the checks right to the
Yeah.
fence companies and
Right.
things like that.
After they get done, or before you.
Well,
Right.
sometimes,
Well, if they want half down or
sometimes they
something.
want
Or
materials.
whatever like that. I mean, I'll talk to Danny and say, ask him how he wants that done and everything. Now, the people that were the bleachers are coming out of, they're coming out of Kentucky. Now, I don't know if they want it at that time or when they'll want to check when it shifted. Check the
Right.
lift.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So that kind of stuff,
To work out.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's essentially,
just find
instead
out
of
what they want.
invoicing the Little League, they need to invoice the commission.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I mean, just give me the information and
right.
and send the invoice. Will it be a requisition that had to be filled out to get a PO number or whatever like that?
Just bring us an
Just an invoice like
Bring
this
us an
one here
invoice.
for the
Okay.
commission, not the Little League.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
All right.
that's
If
how.
they want paid in half,
Just give me
thirds.
the information for
Right, the breakdown.
you know, the break.
Business card.
Okay.
That's right there.
Can I get on there?
Yes.
I'll make it.
Take it.
Since
Do you,
since I grew up there.
You grew up just a stone's throw?
That's right.
I own that field.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I grew up on that field.
I swear, exactly.
That's true.
You know,
On base.
they've got projects, you know, they're going to do and everything up there, and right now, that's the biggest one, and then they're going to be going and enclosing a batting cage up there, and making it available for the kids to have an
Can you
indoor batting cage.
Can you use some of that old fencing for
We're going to use some of that old fencing to protect the walls from the metal that's going to be put up and everything. So you have a gap between a timber. So that keeps that from hitting against that metal. And then also too, we're going to take the outfield fence and redo the fencing where you have the parking lot and where the spectators are. We're going to make that look a lot better because we got 3 different types of fence up there, and we're going to redo that and everything.
That was the basketball court. That green fence, the tall stuff.
Yeah.
Did that come off the basketball court in the back?
Yeah, back there where the tennis courts
Yeah,
is at.
yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean,
All right.
it's changed considerably.
I'll make a motion that we fund this at $40,656 from ARP funds, and conditional that we pay the contractors direct from out of here on requisition, and that one of us be overseer of the project.
Now, a couple of questions and everything. On these benches and everything, what do I do? Get a bill from Lowe's and bring it to you for the materials?
That or, you know, like let the Little League pay for that, then you come in and we'll reimburse the
Reimburse it. No problem.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Yeah, small items like that, if you just go ahead and pay for them, then bring it in, the receipt, and then Patty can make a thing up for us to reimburse you.
That's true.
Okay.
So even to make it simple, if you wanted to, if this is okay with you all could pay 15 on the fence, and we pay the remainder, and then we just pay the bleachers, and we just pay the benches. Then that way you're not doing 50% of 3 different things.
Okay. All right.
You just apply that 15,000 towards the fence, we pay the remaining 17,500, and then we pay the other 2.
Okay.
So you bring us, on the benches, you bring us your expenses and we'll reimburse, up to $1,400.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the thing of it, I just want to ask one thing on that and everything. If, on the 40,000, the reason why, if the 15,000 could be wait until the latter part, because that's a CD as of right now.
Okay.
Okay, and then if we, see what I'm saying? That's okay. Now,
If you could make the last payment on the fence or something.
we'll work it out, but that's.
Okay.
That I really appreciate it. And I have one last thing to say, and I've told people this and when I was coaching. It's not the footsteps that you take on this earth. It's the footprints you leave behind. And I thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Be the vote
Call
on
for
that.
a vote.
Yeah.
And he's made a
You
motion.
made a motion?
I made a motion.
Okay, all those in favor then of this motion?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And
Thank you for what you do.
thank you all. This means a lot.
I'm impressed that Bill can stand that far from his notebook and still read it too.
That's not anything I can do.
Yeah, okay.
Recording stopped.
Let's go ahead and we're going to
Oh,
continue.
okay.
Members of the commission, let me know. Good to go?
Yes.
Okay. A quick introduction again. My name's Eric Miarka. I'm with Savion Energy. I'm joined today by Chris Hunter from Jackson County. Before we get too into the weeds, though, I do have some confidential business terms. I think we could have the most effective conversation if I can share those with you all. I'd like to share those with you all, but since they are still in development, I'd prefer that we keep that in executive session if we can do that. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions or anything? We're good?
Is it, it's property related?
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'll make the motion, we move into executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4 And of course, we'll keep Eric and what's your name, sir?
Chris Hunter.
And Chris Hunter in the room with us alongside legal counsel.
Okay.
And it's 11:40 a.m.
Very hall.
Okay, I need a motion to come back out of executive session.
I'll move to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4. And for the record, no decisions were made during that time, and it is now 12:08 p.m.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. Lindsay,
Yes,
you're
sir.
up finally.
I just have a quick update.
Okay.
The sheriff's department is retiring 2 canines, so I applied for a grant for 2 canines, and then I'm also in the works on a second backup grant for 2 canines to replace those. For the Veterans Memorial Park, I'm also doing quotes and stuff for playground equipment and have registered at a couple foundations to try to get something turned in on that. And the ARPA annual report is complete, and that's all I've got.
Good work as
Super
usual.
simple.
Yeah, very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys have a
Sir,
good
do you
day.
have anything to add on that, Sheriff?
What's
Do you have anything to add on that? Okay. Very good.
Have a good day.
Sorry for running late.
Oh, no, you're fine.
All right. Well,
Yes,
looks like
ma'am.
you're up.
Now it's my turn, huh?
Yeah.
No, so we've talked about this fire fee for 3 years. We're really gaining ground right now. We're getting close to the requirements to check all the boxes so that we can actually begin this process. And really in discussions with Somersville, from people way back when they started their fee to where they've restructured it in the last 5 years, it's just kind of come to my attention, especially, and the mayor mentioned it the other day when he was here with us, that there's going to be a lot of administrative work up front to even just set this up, let alone move forward with it. And so what I wanted to request is that we consider going ahead and creating the position of the administrator of the fire fee under the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and that they can go ahead and begin the process of setting this up. In worst case, it might have to be next year if the petitions don't come in time, but I mean, we've done our part. So we're doing all that we can do, and yeah, hopefully it can be this year. And what I'm proposing right now is this just be a 1-year position, and if the fee does begin this year, as we do hope, that the fee consume that cost from there on, and we can always if we have to do another year, we just have to do another year. But that goes ahead and sets all this up to where we're ready to go, rather than. I mean, I know Ernie brought me 3 legal boxes worth of addresses and stuff that they're going to have to go through and sort out.
Okay.
It's going to be a job.
All right, so we need a motion.
Well, we don't, because if we're hiring this, if John's hiring this person, it's not anybody we're affected, that just comes out of his money.
Good.
But we have to set up the job and the responsibilities and the salary and stuff like that, or the hourly rate or whatever we're going to do.
You think so? Do you not think it should just be?
Oh no, they can't make their own positions. We have to make the
We have to
positions.
make
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Okay.
And really, what I think this needs to be is a kind of a open-ended position, because once this is established, they can begin helping some with floodplain and other issues in Homeland's department going forward. But just as they're available, of course, job number 1 is this, and this is going to take some time. In fact, the city of Somersville doesn't covers X amount of people. I can't remember how many it is right now. And they have 2 over it in the water department, and then we're going to be asking 1 person to run the whole county. So I think it is going to be a sizable thing.
Well, it's even a position as far as the duties of the job, all these things is going to take time to get them set up.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
That's all from Somersville that they don't have to go through.
Just Somersville.
Yeah. Determine in or out of city.
That's not
Yeah.
out of call range.
Yes.
Right. Right.
I think we need to at least start forward with what we have to do to create this position.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like I say, look at the definements of what the job entails.
Right.
And even in that, we're going to have to look at everything as far as doing that. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but we gotta go ahead and get set on that so we can go forward.
So I mean, there's software we're gonna have to buy for the tax office. There's software we're gonna have to buy for billing. I mean, there's a lot that's gonna have to be set up.
It's gonna take time to get that set up.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we need to go ahead and start on it right time.
Right. So what's that?
Go ahead, you wanna do a motion to at least begin this process?
Okay, yeah, so what I might, well, if Craig, if you wouldn't mind, you make the motion if you wouldn't mind. It's
Yeah.
just give me the permission to work with John to go ahead and set up the job description, a salary recommendation, or however, if we start them out with a scale or whatever we do there, and bring it back to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, John?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just don't want to be doing the work and the motion. If that's
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion that
But I can vote on that.
Commissioner Cole and John put together a administrative position to handle the fire fee process.
Okay. Any further discussion?
We'll have something for the April 20th meeting.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Anyone against, the motion does carry.